Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I'm so sorry. I was just like steady talking. Hi Ruby. Hi Luke. Thank you guys so much. I'm steady talking. I don't know what happened. It was working fine earlier, but so the astronomer card, this let me go back and get myself together. I'll only pull 2 cards because I feel like that took forever. Okay, so the astronomer card says that you're in a complex situation and clues on how to navigate it won't come from past experiences. Now is the time to look both beyond and within for answers and to trust your intuition. Let go of the material needs and concerns that are holding you back and meditate on what your gut is telling you. And then for the second card here, we have sorry to make you stress, Marshall. The Walker is telling us a sense of regret seems to be coloring everything lately, sucking away the joy of the journey. Perhaps you've been forced to leave something behind in order to move forward, or maybe it's the result of circumstances beyond your control. Whatever it is, this pain is necessary to a point. Rather than wallowing in this self-punishment, shed that regret and move on. Interesting. So whatever these complex situations from the astronomer card are causing, the Walker is saying it's time to walk away from them because obviously that energy is not serving us. I'm so sorry, guys. I blame the stars. All right, let me see who I have in the queue. I have Ari, I have Lighthouse Dreamer, must be Nightfall Waves. And then Marshall. Sometimes like the back end, if you just recently changed your username, shows up as like the old one. It kind of does sound like that, Luke, which the irony of my mic not working is quite funny. Okay, Ari, you are up first. Go ahead, put your question in the chat. And since you guys kind of didn't hear what I was saying before, this is the Citadel Oracle deck. I just finished up my solo campaign with it because it comes with like a RPG or expansion as well if you get the limited edition. So yeah, I was really happy. I just finished that up, so I was like, oh, I should use that today. And I kind of want to see how it pairs with the Game of Thrones tarot. Aesthetically, they give off similar vibes, but the colors are different, so I'll see how they look. And then this is the Game of Thrones tarot. It hasn't been on this channel in a while, but you can see by the cards that they are like well loved. This is probably my most used deck before I got like before I actually started to expand my collection. So if you guys are doing anything fun this weekend, let me know. I don't think there are any major moon events happening. Let me see. Oh, yeah, the full moon's not till Monday. Okay. Yeah, full moon's Monday. Alrighty. We'll go on to Nightmare Waves. That's funny. Your name like popped up properly this time. All right, Nightmare Waves. Go ahead, send your question. Hopefully, did my mic go out again? No, I can still hear me. Or I can still see my voice waves, I should say. You're welcome. God, how lovely it was to shuffle this deck. Somehow this thing just made it to the back of my shelf and I like just haven't used it as much. All right, Nightmare Waves. Let's see what's coming in love. Thank you. What's coming in love for Nightmare Waves? So this deck, just like if you're not familiar with it, aesthetically is a little darker. So don't freak out, but like just know that overall it's a darker aesthetic deck. Doesn't mean anything inherently wrong. All right, so you have the King of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, it sounds like you have. It sounds like you definitely have someone coming towards you. And I want to say that this is going to be something new that's going to be forming with this Ace of Cups here. So this is like a new relationship that is going to be sparking around this king. So the King of Cups, I'll describe them, and you can let me know if it's someone that you know or someone that you don't know. But the King of Cups is the more, out of the kings, he is the more emotionally focused one, the one who leads by not only his brains, but also kind of lets his heart lead the way as well. So someone who's really in tune with themselves emotionally. The King of Cups can also be very much a spiritual type person, but because of the energy of the kings, still very thoughtful, still has this air of wisdom to them. In the courts, the kings and queens are the more mature cards. So this could represent either an older person or just someone who gives off more of an older, well-established vibe. Doesn't necessarily have to be older. And I will say, like, the King of Cups is really like in the tarot when people are like trying to think of archetypes to describe like a more like masculine figure, or in terms of, I'll just say more masculine figure, whether you're looking for a guy or girl, is really like more the like Prince Charming in a positive way kind of energy. So this is really good. Someone who's not only very thoughtful, but someone who's very has a really good EQ, like emotional intelligence about them, understands people, and is really good at connecting with people in a very not in like a superficial kind of way, but in an actual real connection kind of way. So I mentioned already that you have, I'm sorry, this is the King of Swords. I'm losing my mind today, guys. I'm all rattled after my mic stopped working. So the King of Swords, still a good card. The King of Swords is actually less emotional and more cerebral. So sorry about that, Nightmare Waves. King of Swords, he's more the very much thoughtful person. And instead of being the type to kind of lead with his heart, the King of Swords likes to really think things through, relies very much on thought and logic, and tends to be more so, before I describe the King of Cups, is more so like the spiritually minded type person. The King of Swords is more so like the logical, sciencey engineering type. So that could be a sign that this person is more so in the sciences, math, the STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, that kind of world. And I will warn, though, that sometimes these kings, the kings of swords, can be hard to connect with at first because they don't know how to necessarily connect emotionally. They do so more so like thoughtfully. Still, though, paired with the cups, still great energy coming in. And then the Wheel of Fortune really tells me that this is something where like things are turning in your favor. So I feel like this is something that's kind of on the horizon for you. If as I describe this person, no one comes to mind, I feel like maybe this is someone who's coming in fairly soon in that regard. Um, yeah, sorry about that though for messing up the cups versus swords. I should have known better. This is the Ice King or whatever he's called in Game of Thrones. But ultimately, I think you have some really good energy coming toward you. It's definitely going to be something fresh. I would recommend going through, like, as you start to hit that point where you're like, oh, I recognize this is happening now, kind of sit with it for a while, and then you can check back in and kind of see how things are going and maybe what the next steps are. All right. Marshall, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Welcome, guys. Welcome back, Ari. No problem. I understand things happen. Oh, Luke, you watched that? I'm glad you liked it. It's kind of part of my new series. The How to Pick Your Deck thing was part of my, I guess, like spread wisdom series. Hi, Natty Nat. Welcome to the queue. By this week, I'm assuming you mean the week coming, since this week is essentially over. Okay, Marshall, let's see what you should focus on. Okay, next card. One more. Okay. So you have the Emperor, you have the Knight of Spears, which is the Knight of Wands in this deck. And then you have the Knight of Coins, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Both of these are reversed. So I think I'll just start from the beginning and go along. With the Emperor, I think that your main goal for the week should be structure. If you have a goal or sort of loose plans for the week, you need to just tighten them up. Because I feel like otherwise you're just not going to get stuff done. The Knights in tarot are really very much so the doers. They're the action-oriented ones. And with these guys in reverse, it says like they're kind of like moving aimlessly in different regards. And the Emperor very much craves that structure and really, and sometimes it could be to your detriment, but I think in this case, there's like a need for it. Create some boundaries, create some structure before you move forward, whether that be with like people, plans, objectives, whatever that might be. So if you take nothing away from this, your main theme is structure. So you have the Knight of Wands here in reverse. Knight of Wands is this card is warning you against being too impulsive in any regard. So this is about Wands is very much that fiery energy. Knights imbue that fiery energy. So there's just a lot of energy that's building up with this Knight. And in reverse, without that control and stability, it can just kind of spread wild and go any which way, and you could burn out. So this is a warning against letting yourself burn out. In the upright, this Knight can be really focused and really sometimes singularly focused, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, where they're willing to push forward towards their goals, whatever they have their eyes set on, and that can be good. It's just making sure you do that within the bounds that you have set for yourself so you don't burn yourself out. On the flip side, we have the Knight of Pentacles. These energies, they're neutral to each other, but they're telling opposite stories. They're like opposite sides of the coin, where the Knight of Wands is very much like go, 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 very quick, and very much so willing to just do the first thing that pops into their mind. The Knight of Pentacles suffers from the opposite, where they kind of have analysis paralysis. It's really hard for them to get going, very much rooted in a way that Knights usually aren't. So these two together signal that there's this propensity to start stuff and then feel stuck and then not know what to do. So it's like you have an idea and you do it, and then you get stuck because you never really planned it out. You never really set the actual, like, what does a beginning, middle, and end look like? What does success look like? That kind of thing. That's where this Emperor is telling you need to figure out how to flip that energy, where you can pull all of the good elements from the Knight of Spears or Wands here, and the good elements of the Knight of Coins, to keep yourself from getting into this start, stop kind of energy that you might be dealing with right now. So again, you take nothing away from this structure. But I do like that you have two Knights. And what's cool is, even though they're facing different directions here, so your Emperor here is like sort of reflecting on the things behind. This Knight here is sort of starting to turn things around, and then this Knight is pushing forward once we flip that energy upright. So it's almost like a, beginning, middle, and end. Yeah, Ari, if you watch it, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think. You have plenty of time to catch up, Luke. I don't know if I'll get too much out in September, so I might have to do some like re-releases kind of thing. Alrighty, Ari, you are up next, and let me read who I have in the queue. I have, after Ari, I have Natty Nat, Sefwa, and Luke. So welcome, Sefwa. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, still working out the nuance of the series, but it's been fun, so hopefully you guys like it. All right, next card. Next card just doesn't want to come out. Here we go. One more. Okay, so you have the Five of Cups reverse, Nine of Coins, or Nine of Pentacles, and the World. So I will say no, you don't have to move to find someone. The Five of Cups in general really talks about like ruing over the things that aren't working out and not realizing there are really good things still there. And because you're focusing on the negative, it's hard to see the positive. And it's almost like, you explain, you see the positive in other people, but you don't have it. And that's still somehow, still focusing on the negative. In reverse, the Five of Cups is saying you're starting to heal from that. So what I'm thinking is, no, you don't have to move. And you don't, because you could instead focus on healing on, healing's not necessarily the right word. Refocusing is probably the better word. Emotionally refocusing on the positive things that you might not be noticing. And you could do that a few ways. It could be like reflecting on things in the past and maybe realizing that certain things didn't work out because you were focusing on the wrong things, or it could be more in the present where you like positive affirmation, that kind of thing. Focus on like manifesting and bringing good things in where you kind of have a better positive outlook, just within reason, not that like toxic positivity kind of movement that's going on in the new age world. Another sign that you don't necessarily have to move is you have the 9 of coins in the middle of your reading. This is like the card of luxury and abundance. And it's a sign that it's within reach. It's just because you're too focused on things that aren't working out. You can't put the energy towards the things that would work out, or energy into learning what would work out so you can make it work out. And I think that the world kind of brings it on home in the sense that, no matter where you had, I'm going to take this card like fairly literally, where no matter where you are in the world, you still need to work on refocusing emotionally on more positive things and bringing the positive, whatever that positive outlook is, to yourself, so that way it draws in that same energy. So this kind of tells me that even if you did move, you'd probably be in the same situation. It's not your area. It might be a little bit like some areas are objectively harder to date as women, but in general, just overgeneralizing, it's not the area. It's not, anything like that. It's you need to work from the inside out and stop trying to do the outside in. Like, basically saying that your environment isn't going to change how things are working out for you. It can if you get to that point, but you're not at that point yet. That's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. I feel like, after a certain age, it doesn't matter. They either want to commit or not. I would say people in their 30s are 50-50. It's a toss up. But yeah, I wouldn't focus on the move or, and I would say that your friends are a testament to that. So, what are they doing that you're not doing? Or, what tips could they give you? Maybe it's time to refer to them. Also, with the 9 of coins, one of the things I like about Pentacles is it's generally the suit of like the resources in the physical world. So this could be like, what resources do you have around you that can help you with this, aka your friends and stuff like that, to help give you more of an objective opinion on what you're doing wrong and what you can do better. Yeah, it definitely depends. And I will say too, it depends on your goals and the age group you're in. It makes it difficult. Being like in a cusp age group, I think makes it hard. If I recall, you're fairly young, so I would call yours a cusp age group in the sense where people are just becoming working adults and leaving like that childhood phase. So you're going to have like literally the entire spectrum of levels of maturity, which makes it exhausting. Alrighty, Natty Nat, you are up next. Alrighty, let's see. Will you get a job offer in the month of August? Oh yeah, guys, if you're enjoying these, make sure you like the video. It helps other people find the channel. Let's see if you will get a job offer in the month of August. gonna lie, I was skeptical because the month is like halfway done, but you have the Knight of Spears, the Knight of Spears, Eight of Spears, and then the Eighth of Spears. So I want to say yes. Yes. But I will say with this Knight here, I feel like it's saying you need to keep applying, because maybe keep applying, keep interviewing, whatever. I mentioned earlier, the Knights are the doers. They're taking action. So this is saying that if you want to get to this yes, you still have energy that you need to put in to this to make it successful. So always with future readings, it's always a yes or no with a caveat, and it's based off of the actions that you're taking. So as long as you keep at it, I will say, whatever this is, keep putting yourself out there, whatever that might look like for your area and for the job that you're looking for, whether that be networking, career fairs, just a plethora of applications. This is what's going to be the catalyst for the success. So this, and then we have the Eight of Spears. The Eight of Spears is just a lot of change that's happening. There's a lot of stuff that's in the air and a lot of energies that are moving around. So this makes it feel a little more nebulous, but generally this is with the Eight of Wands, things are pushing in the right direction for what, generally for what the question is about, generally pushing towards positive changes. Yeah. Yeah, even in waiting, keep applying. I feel like, you're probably, if this is anything like how I feel like I had happen, you're going to feel like nothing's happening despite all of the work you're putting in. And then suddenly it's going to be like, bam, 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 different options. That's kind of the thing that I get. Like, if you think of all of these spheres as different people reaching out to you, almost, that's what it feels like. And then we end with the Ace of Spears. Aces are the sign of something new happening. There's an element of success and like a new spark of something that comes to you. So this all feels like, pending your actions, this is leading to a successful end of the month in terms of job offers. Yeah, Marshall, I usually don't keep track of it until stuff goes wrong and I'm like, what is happening? Or people start wiling out for no reason. That's how I realized it was Mercury retrograde, because I was talking to someone. I was like, why are people acting like this? You're welcome, Natty Nat. Okay, Sefwa, you are up next, followed by Luke. Oops, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, Luke. I know this month kind of got a rough start for you. Queenie, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're able to leave that situation. If you'd like a reading, you can use !join to join. Alrighty, Sepwa, let's see if they're going to replace your position at your job or fire you. Interesting. You have the Six of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and Ten of Cups in reverse. So I will say no to replacing your position, if unless I'm misunderstanding what that means. But I do worry about your employment there. So Six of Cups feels very positive on one side of this Wheel of Fortune here, but the Ten of Cups feels very finite in a bad way. So Six of Cups emotionally is like reflecting on the past emotionally, like building that connection with things. And one second, give me 1 second. Every once in a while, I feel like there's just more to it than I'm not seeing. And I just want to make sure I'm okay. I wonder if there is someone at your job who was there previously and they want to put in your current position. Now, when I read this, I read replace my position as meaning they're removing the position as your job. But now that I think about it, I think you might have meant, are they replacing your position? Are they replacing you with someone else in your position? So I think that's what you were trying to explain. And if that's the case, then I would say yes. And I worry about your position ultimately in the job. Mind you, future readings are nebulous. I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet. Please don't do anything rash because of what you're seeing in the cards, but consider it a warning and keep it in the back of your mind. Six of Cups really makes me feel like there's someone that has been around for a while or someone that left and wants to come back that was really favored, and they are eyeing your position to do that. And I feel like this almost indicates like a timing. So if your job has cycles, like for instance, my job rotates fairly like at the top level at the fiscal year, right? And then within that quarterly. So if your job has specific cycles, I would say that their goal is to have that person back, whoever this Six of Cups person is from the past, back in the job by the end of the cycle and remove you from that position as this Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is tens are the end of a cycle, just in general, whether upright or reverse. They're the end of a cycle. They're the end of the numbered minor arcana. And that can usually be in the good or in the bad. The Ten of Cups in the upright is good. It means like kind of family and joyousness and coming together. But in reverse, there's a disconnect. Things basically is essentially issues that can't be resolved, and because of that, they remove the issue. So I think that if I were you, and if you're feeling this energy, if what I'm describing sounds fairly accurate, I would make sure that you are, looking for other jobs, or if it's not a company-wide issue and it's just a team issue, see if you can move to another team. Because sometimes companies are really, really good, but your team is bad because you have a bad manager. So it's not the company's fault totally, if you know what I'm saying. So see if you can maybe move teams. Any way to protect yourself from being given the boot, essentially. So whatever this cycle is about the amount of time that I feel like I'm seeing for you. Alrighty, Luke, go ahead and put your question. You're welcome, Steph. So sorry about that. It has to feel very stressful. Make sure you guys like this video for me. Get a nice shuffle going. Whoops. Alrighty, Luke, post your question. And then after Luke, I have Queenie, and I'm going to leave the queue open just in case for a little bit. All right, let's see. Pull an oracle card for you. See how you can refocus your center emotionally and mentally this Mercury retrograde. Ooh, the cartographer. This is a crossroads and exploration. I almost said explanation. Okay. So let's see. So the cartographer, you currently find yourself at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take. Something within you is eager for a new journey, but doubts make you hesitant. Which path will lead you where you want to go, and which will lead you to an unexpected destination? When inner conflicts stop you from taking the next step forward, overcome that uncertainty and embody the boldness you need. Okay. All right. So let's see what the tarot has to say. I feel like the cartographer is just saying, like, okay, you're kind of, during this Mercury retrograde, maybe a little bit like on one path or another. I'll put this here. Yeah, I'll put this here. All right. You can't see that very well. These cards aren't even that glossy. Okay. So we have the King of Coins, the Knight of Swords, and then we have the Eight of Swords. So, I think with the King of Pentacles paired with the Knight of Swords, I think this is saying to lean more so on the physical things that you can do, the tangible things that you can do, whether that means like, I think I'm very bad at this myself, so it's hard for me to give examples, but like there are methods of centering that revolves around like focusing around like a physical object or putting yourself in a physical place. I would say focus more so on the things that feel more tangible that you can actually physically connect with. Versus the exercises that are a little more mental, because I think it's a little hard to relate, and maybe it's harder as well for you to feel the results of. So if you have different ideas that you've been focusing on, and a lot of them have been more so like intangible, try to find the ones that are more tangible. So with with centering, a lot of times you can pair that with grounding to help the entire process. And maybe that's where the physical is coming in. It's more so the grounding side of things. So it takes the pressure off of things mentally, and it allows you to relax enough to get to that point of center. I feel like it helps with the overthinking. So the Knight of Swords can really just the Knight of Swords, I wouldn't say is necessarily an overthinker. I would say that they are just more so like, they kind of give up thinking because it like analysis paralysis. So they're like, okay, I'm just going to do whatever and see what happens. But that doesn't generally work out well. And there's really no focus. There's no focus there. So paired with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So these two support each other really, really well and fight against this. So these two things are probably where you need to do most of your refocusing. So the Eight of Swords is basically the negative thoughts are overpowering any kind of actual centering that you're doing. And I think that stems from what I was mentioning before, where like, you just kind of are trying to think things through. And if you're not doing things that feel more tangible to you, then it's easy to be like, you kind of lose focus halfway through, or your mind wanders, or whatever that might look like. And then because of that, it delves into like more of the negative side of things, where you feel like you're just not doing things right. And overall, you're just kind of, this is literally the card of what's it called? Self-deprivation. That's the wrong word. I can't think of the word. Oh my God. Anyways, this is literally the card of like literally beating yourself down. So with negative thoughts and stuff like that. So Luke, I would say refocus on the physical. So you do mention your physical, you like the hands-on kind of stuff, and find something in that realm that would help with that. Because I know some people can literally just do like just sit there and meditate and feel centered after. But I know for me, my mind wanders, and a lot of times I need to be doing stuff. So the King of Coins too, I feel like even though he's sitting here, like, look, he's literally holding on to a coin, right? And he's sitting there very calmly and barely focused. So, whatever that sounds like. And hopefully that helps to give you something to think on other than the negative thoughts. Yeah, negative thoughts suck. Queenie, you are up next. Self-deprecating. I think that's the word. Yeah, self-deprecating. Thank you. Yeah. Having something physical to focus on helps to keep your mind from wandering. And then you can, it's like, your brain is a muscle, right? So you still have to work it and like learn how to refocus it when it gets into that sort of mindset. You're welcome. Alrighty, let me close my queue because your girl's getting hungry. Alrighty, Queenie, I will be finishing up with you. Just let me know what your question is, and I will pull some cards. Actually, Luke, I don't have any drinks. I thought about getting a bottle of wine before the live, but then I was just I was watching Futurama and I ran out of time. So I'm actually drinking like a passion fruit liqueur, like the most basic drink ever. I know, right? I'm doing my live stream super sober tonight. It's crazy. Truly Mercury retrograde. Alrighty, Queenie, let me know what your question is. I was also so I was watching Futurama, but I have a big trip coming up, so I was sort of packing and whoops. I was packing and lost track of time. Alrighty, Queenie, let's see. Does your husband and the other party know that you know? As long as you are of the legal drinking age, grab yourself a drink. Last card. Come on, last card. Here we go. Knight of Coins, Eight of Swords, and Two of Cups. So I definitely feel like they know that something is up with you. And I think they probably suspect that you know. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a solid, like, yes, but it feels like they're assuming that you do. So we have the Knight of Coins and the Eight of Swords. I mentioned in the previous reading the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is also our only repeat card in the night. No, it's not. So the Eight of Swords in reverse is a lot of like negative energy and self-doubt, negative thoughts to oneself. So I feel like you're probably giving that energy off, and the Knight is aware of it. So things might have slowed down at the moment, but Knights upright are never truly sedentary. They're always pushing towards what they want. And I feel like ultimately it feels very much like a crossroads here where like your energy is at the center of it. On one side, you have your husband, and then on the other side, you have whatever relationship he ends up deciding on. And I don't think that's been decided yet. At least it doesn't feel like it. Oh, you showed her his picture? Out of just in general conversation or for a specific reason? Like out of nowhere, or Nine of Coins and the Empress in reverse? Yeah, I would say that it's a little ambiguous right now in the sense that, let me move that up. So I will say that they probably have a strong idea that you know what's up because of these energies here. The Empress in reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse. You're probably radiating that just despair. But then we have the Nine of Coins, the Knight of Coins, and it almost feels like, the knight is kind of basking in the luxuries of this other person, but you're kind of in the middle of him and whatever relationship that, he wants. And I just, yeah, I feel like, honestly, if we remove this, right, I feel like this is really where you're at right now. And at the end of the day, that's probably all that matters. And you need to find ways to protect your peace, because the Empress generally is very like nurturing and loving, and it's all about personal growth and growing the people that she cares about around her and building them up. But right now you're not able to do any of that. You barely focus on yourself at all. And I think that it's a disservice to you if I'm just throwing my own personal opinion into what I'm seeing in the cards. So I feel like whether they know or not, it's probably a little irrelevant, because it seems like whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. It's just maybe, them realizing that you know what's up is slowing them down, but it's not stopping them. That's kind of what that felt like. Yeah. I mean, if it's important for you to know, I would just ask outright. Because otherwise it's just going to really mess with your head. You're welcome, Queenie. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Ooh, a mango margarita sounds good. Just a glass, and it could be like one of those big ones. uh, I feel like mango margaritas can go either way, because sometimes that artificial mango flavor is like, it tastes like a medicine, and other times it's actually like fairly good. Um, okay, so let's see. I will be back next Friday, the 23rd. And on Sunday, Priscilla from Our Life Full of Simplicity and I are going to be doing our Tarot Time podcast. And we're going to be doing the hashtag Tarot 5Ws. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to both our channels. And check us out on Sunday, the 25th. I called it, I don't know. It's episodes, isn't it? It's not serialized, I guess. Do podcasts have to be serialized? I don't know. Oh, Luna is here, and that's my that is my sign to get off live stream when Luna shows up. Yeah, those big like amusement glass ones that look like basically a goblet. But yeah, or whatever our Tarot Time live streams are, whether it be a podcast or something else. Yeah, she doesn't even want food. It's not time to eat. She's just like, it's time to get off live stream and give me the attention that I deserve. Alrighty, guys. So if you would like to continue chatting after I get off live, feel free to check out my Discord. You can join me over there. And Yeah, we can continue talking margaritas and mangoes, apparently. So thank you guys so much for joining. Have a great evening. Have a good evening, Ruby. Thank you again. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.